Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the AHP Podcast. I'm back again for another episode of, I have no idea, comedy, God knows what. What a journey 2020 has been so far. We just got almost a month left of it now. A month and a few days, that's it. Hopefully 2021 will be better. I can guarantee it won't be fucking better than this shit, I gotta tell you that much. Trump got a few days left. I'm pretty sure if it was up to him, he would even take a shit on the bed Biden is gonna sleep in. That's for fucking sure. Last week I was reading the news about him talking about trying to bomb Iran, like thinking about bombing Iran. I was like, oh yeah, there you go. He's 100% want to leave a mess and just hand the whole thing, leave the whole mess to Biden. Like, all right, there you go, fucker. Enjoy the mess I made. I just hope it'll be over soon. I have no idea what the hell they're gonna do now. They're becoming rather unpredictable. On another note, Mike Pompeo will win in 2024. That I can guarantee. He's already campaigning, as it seems. Israelis love him. Saudis love him. And Middle Eastern, like entire Middle East except Iran, love him. I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to champion him. And he does look like a power-hungry kind of a person who might want to do something like that. It's an era of psychos. What do you see? What do you see in the future? I see that 8 years down the line, the effects of what Trump did during this past 4 years would really emerge in America. That I can guarantee. Not now. Like, it's gonna take a little while. It's already fucked up, but just a little tiny amount of time. I was talking to my friend about them. I was like, isn't it funny that this guy, ever since he became president, for the past 4 years, I heard Trump every single day for all the years he was the president. That says a lot about the guy. He was always on the news. Jesus, that guy. Even he didn't count to become the president. Anyway, he's done. He can't believe it. He's done. But here's a prediction for you. Biden will not survive the first 4 years of his presidency, and Kamala Harris will become the new president. But she will lose in the election, 2024 election. Biden is just too old. I think they will march him out. How many times do you have to wake up a president during the sleep? And Biden, God knows, he needs some sleep. He will lose, he will pass away, or he will become, his state of dementia will fucking throw him into decay, that's for sure. I saw his entire conversation with Trump, and he had his hand on the podium like he was holding a cane. These guys become the leaders of the new world, and we wonder, why is it so fucked up? People voted for them. I saw bikers for Trump. Could you believe that? Jesus, this is like bearded, gigantic bikers in USA. Vote for Trump. God sent him to us. Really? Did he do that? If that's the extent of God's imagination, I'm really not impressed, I gotta say. COVID numbers are rising again. Is it? Oh, should we get vaccinated? Is it a kosher vaccine? Is it a halal vaccine? Should we not? Jesus, guys. Back in the day, people used to beg for vaccines. I mean, at least some of them. There was a story of, there was a person in Persia, in old Persia, like, not really old Persia, it's like maybe like 200 years ago, by the name of Amir Kabir, which means Amir the Great. And the vaccine for smallpox came out. And like, we haven't changed much. If you look at the story, we really haven't fucking changed much. Maybe the excuses changed, but we haven't really changed at all. The only thing we've changed really as a human beings is that we just managed to build bigger buildings and create better weapons to kill each other. That's the only change that has happened. Nothing grand. Anyway, I'm digressing. Focus. There was a man by the name of Amir the Great, and Amir Kabir. Kabir basically means great, and he was an advisor to the king of Persia back then, and it was during the Qajar dynasty, which wasn't a really good time for Iran at that moment. We were getting screwed over left and right. Here's the thing that happened. He said it's mandatory for everybody, all the kids and all the people, to go and get vaccinated for smallpox. Not smallpox, sorry, chickenpox. And the religious clerics then deemed the vaccine as a way of Satan. I don't know. I don't think the term haram was used. I think the term was like, it's satanic, it's unorthodox, it is not proper, you will go to hell if you do it. So Amir the Great said, all right, people who do not get vaccinated, they will need to pay some amount of fine if they do not want to get vaccinated. And then he realized that the numbers of people who are getting vaccinated hasn't gone up at all. And then he inquired why. I thought that this would actually get them to do vaccines. And they said, well, the people who had the money to pay the fine paid the fine. The people who didn't have the money to pay the fine went and borrowed some to pay the fine. Now, what has changed exactly right now? I have no fucking clue. There's anti-vaxxers, anti-this, anti-that. I won't be surprised if then, there's a huge amount of conspiracy behind it. I understand it. I 100% understand it. God knows I fucking love. I'm a firm believer in natural selection. Let's just leave it at that. But just the more you see, the quantity goes up, the quality tends to drop. Oh man. Yeah, I think I'll wait at least 6 months to get vaccinated, that's for sure. 6 months after the vaccine is out, just to see if anybody have some sort of a side effect that is not reported, basically. There was a few cases in the first trials of the test that people were getting vaccinated. People were showing sicknesses that are not even known yet. I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to get that. I don't want to get that shit. All Resident Evil kind of bullshit going on now. Remember when it was depressing? Remember it is still depressing. Like remember when it was just, you couldn't believe it. Now it's just so normal. That's how quick we adapt, man. Jeez. What else been going on? I'm reading a lot of folk tales, actually. That's one thing this corona has got me to do. Reading Brothers Grimm folk tales and like old time folk tales, and the side effect of a 2020 is that my sense of humor, not my humor actually, my sense of wonder, my acceptance of differences, my suspension of disbelief has kind of just melted away completely, basically. I can't watch a movie without really trying to get immersion at 100%. And the suspension of disbelief is really out of the fucking world now. I can't read the story just to read the story. Suddenly realism just suddenly kicks in. But some of them are way too real to think about. Like I just finished reading Bluebeard. I've always heard of Bluebeard before, because I played the first time I heard of Bluebeard was when I played a game called The Wolf Among Us. And I was like, who's this Bluebeard dude everybody talks about? And well, I read it, and I gotta say, I don't think he was wrong. Yeah, I said it. I don't think what Bluebeard was doing was wrong. You see, this to those of you who listen to this is that the story of Bluebeard is basically this. This incredibly rich man, almost king-like man, goes and marries this semi-peasant lady, asks her hand to marriage, basically, and she accepts. It's like, oh my god, look at this rich, long-bearded, handsome man who loves my music and loves me, and yada, blah, blah, blah. And, well, she goes into his castle, and she's served food, and she's taken care of. And then this is basically their honeymoon, and Bluebeard suddenly says, "Oh, I gotta go to work. Here are the keys to my entire castle. You're allowed to go wherever you want, do whatever the fuck you like. I don't give a shit. Whatever makes you happy, go ahead and do it. I'm sorry I have to leave, honey. I'll be back soon." Here's one thing, by the way. There's a room somewhere in this castle which the last key in the keychain that I just gave you can open. Do me a favor. That's my room. Stay away from it. I'm asking you. Have all the other rooms. Stay away from my room. Please do that for me. And she was like, well, of course, sweetie. You can trust me. Sure. She goes around, and of course she does what you think she would. And of course she does what you think she would do. The second he leaves, she goes into the room that he asked her not to go. He asked her not to go into that room, and what does she find? Well, she finds a bunch of dead bodies of his ex-wives. All of them hanging, beheaded, put in a spike coffin, which is... I wonder who looked at the coffin one day and was like, you know what would be good in that bunch of spikes. Again, back to the point. Only thing we've improved in is just a way to kill each other. And then Bluebeard suddenly returns back home. And she gets scared and she drops the key in the pool of blood that is there. And the key got some magical properties, blah, blah, blah. Bluebeard comes back, asks her, hey, can you give me back my keychain that I gave you? She's like, why do you want your keychain? Just give me back my keychain, bitch. I want to see it. And she's like, okay. Hands him the keychain. She looks at the last key, and the last key is covered in blood, and says, bitch, didn't I tell you not to go where I told you to go? Didn't I tell you you can have everything that you want? Just don't go into that room. And she's like, but you dictated the whole thing. It was your fault. You put the moves ahead of me actually even doing them. Well, could they ever take responsibility? Which goes, it's exactly like the same story of Adam and Eve when Eve was caught by God when she ate the apple, and it's like, the fuck you doing? And it's like, well, the snake told me. Then it sees Adam, and Adam is like, hey Adam, why are you covering yourself? And it's like, well, the woman did it. The woman told me. It's a blame game, but it started with Eve. See, it started with Eve, and the same thing. She blames him for her opening the door that he deliberately asked. He emphasized on, sweetie, booby scooby, honey squirts, I love you, but for fuck's sake, can you please not do that? Can you just leave that room? That's the room that I go to when I just want to kind of decompress. And she did it, and he was like, you know what? Well, I gotta have to sentence you to death. Because all the other girls did the same thing you did. That's the price you pay for doing this shit. Well, bad news is that he doesn't get to execute her. He gets shot or stabbed or whatever the fuck. And she inherits all of his money and becomes very rich. And yeah, donate some to some blind kids with AIDS and shit, but that's it. I feel like that's a metaphor for modern world right now. It's like, what do you do when you're Kardashian? Marry rich. Wait for them to die. God. I don't even know why I'm not telling you guys the story. On another news, they found a monolith in the deserts of Utah. For fuck's sake, guys. Not the time for that shit. Christ. Yeah, just go. Hey, found a monolith. It's probably an art piece, but for God's sake, why now of all the times? Things are going from bad to worse constantly. I think people didn't see that on the news that there was a shooting star, not a shooting star, a comet heading to Earth, and it had a 0.4 chance of hitting Earth a day before the election day. It's all biblical, man. Really, it's all biblical. What do you like? If it's like Mike Pence had a fly sitting on its head with a bloody died. I'm gonna avoid politics. I can't avoid the news, even though I blocked those websites. I can't avoid the news. It sucks you in. My friends recently asked me to watch a series called Utopia. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Not gonna do it. I know the story. It's a story about a hero who created a virus to trim down humanity. Nah. Each episode is a 50-minute long. Man, I wish the damn episodes were shorter. Like, it has become discouraging when I open it and I'm like, oh, season 1, 50 minutes each episode, 8 episodes, 50 minutes each. You know they're gonna milk the fuck out of it, especially if it catches on. I love miniseries. Short, honest, precise. Gets you the story, you're done with it. Don't turn it into a Stephen King novel, for God's sake. Which I gotta say, not a good writer. I'll take that back. He's a good writer, but his good works are basically a handful, like maybe 5 or 6 good books. I finished Revival recently. I was like, oh God, I couldn't believe how disappointing that book was. But on another note, I gotta say, I read the Matthew McConaughey's book recently, The Green Lights. Jesus Christ, that book was good. That was so surprisingly good. You guys have to check it out. It's so nice. I can't believe it. Like, I expected a celebrity kind of a book-ish. I don't even know. I haven't read any celebrity books, really. But I really wasn't expecting such an honest book, such a book filled with so many adventures that you can only wish you had in your life. You guys really need to read it. I felt really good reading it. It's filled with lessons, especially when he's talking about his father and his mother. I'm like, wow, these are gems, really. Even though they sound a little bit of psychotic at some times, not entirely, but I'm kind of go like, no, wait, fuck it. I gotta say they sound a little psychotic, but I guess that's their culture, you may say so. Especially this comes from an Iranian dude talking about an American, so yeah, their culture is really interesting. Yeah, you're probably hearing this from Iranian, you go like, fuck, your culture is more crazy than Americans are. To my eye, at least. The book basically starts with Matthew McConaughey talking about his dad coming home from work. He's dead tired, and he sits down behind the table, and his mom actually basically just reheats the food, puts it in front of him. He starts eating, asks for mashed potatoes. She starts taunting him and teasing him and calling him a fat man or something. And he flips the table. She runs to the phone. He comes at her. She smashes the phone on the bridge of his nose. He starts bleeding from his nose. She gets a butcher knife and tells him that I'm gonna gut you like an animal, and starts swinging at him. He picks up a ketchup bottle, and starts, according to Matthew McConaughey, that's basically, he picks up the ketchup bottle in a matador stance and starts squirting ketchup in her face every time she swings at him and says, touche, touche again. His mom basically gets tired and they start fucking. Well, making love, but they start fucking. Dad with a broken nose, mom almost homicidal, and yeah. And his dad died when he came. When he came, not then, but sometimes later when he orgasmed during sex with his mother, as with Matthew McConaughey's mom, as he many times told them that. Oh man, I wish I had that call in my life now. How cool would that be? Come on, consider it. Like, compared to all the other worst ways you can go out in this life, how the fuck would you want to go? What better way does you want to go? There's like by my count, there's only a handful of things in this world that are worth a while, and one of them is sex. I gotta say, yes, I said it. Deal with it. You wanna die with a chemotherapy and shit? Fuck that. I'm not gonna do that shit. Okay, let's wrap this up. Enough of this. Hopefully in the coming weeks we'll see some more positive news. Hopefully this vaccine will come out and we can get our lives back to its normal state. It's becoming a little bit taxing, gotta say. I'm pretty sure everybody else are going through the same shit as well. Hopefully Trump won't start waging a war on Iran. At least not now. That would be bad. The whole region is destabilized. God, it's a nightmare. I should really stop reading the news. And hopefully Joe Biden can clean up Trump's shit. Because I don't know, America. I don't know. I really don't know, America. I really don't know what's gonna come of you. All I know is that the first domino on the scale of dominoes that is marking the fall of America has been tipped by him, the Nero of America, and soon enough it's gonna crash, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna enjoy watching it from far away. And if you're offended by hearing that, go fuck yourself, I don't care. Hell of a way to do a podcast for a bunch of people, which is like 10? I don't care. Anyways, I'm gonna keep trying to not read the news, and when I do read it, I'm gonna come back here and report to you guys. Hope you all have a pleasant end of the year, year. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, which I don't like Thanksgiving. I don't get why you put turkey in there. Turkey is awful. It's dry like a motherfucker. And digressing again. And yeah, that's it. Hope you're all well. Take care, you guys. Till next time. Talk to you guys later. Ciao.